There is still no word if students in Ontario's COVID hotspots will be heading back to class on February 10th as scheduled, but the province's education minister did announce extra funding and safety measures to help schools prepare for the return. The CBC's Chris Glover joins us now with the details. So Chris, tell us about these new measures.
All right, so let's start with asymptomatic testing, because this is something that has been called for at Ontario schools for months now. And today, the province of Ontario is announcing that they will be introducing asymptomatic testing at all school boards across the province. Now, you might remember that back in the fall of last year, they did introduce asymptomatic testing. So that's even for kids who are not showing symptoms. But they were just doing that on a pilot basis and just in some of those hotspot neighborhoods that we're so often talking about in Toronto, in Peel. That was also extended to Ottawa as well. So now this big step is going to be that asymptomatic testing will happen right across the province of Ontario. And we understand that the target is to have 50,000 tests done at schools a week. And that is, they didn't have a timeline on when that target would be met. But here is Stephen Lecce talking about not just the asymptomatic testing, but also the introduction of rapid tests for kids who are showing symptoms.
For a child that has any symptom, they can use this rapid antigen test. Roughly an hour later, they'll be provided with a result. That type of speed is a strength. We want to really reassure parents that we have that type of testing capacity, both on a symptomatic basis and on an asymptomatic basis, to make sure the schools remain safe.
And public health experts have said that this will help the province of Ontario better monitor the situation and understand in a greater capacity whether or not the transmission of COVID-19 is happening within the school system. Very critical, as we know now that about 500,000 kids are back into the classroom across the province of Ontario. And another important note to put out there, Andrew, is that mandatory masking will be required even for the younger grades. Previous to this, it was just optional, but now it will be mandatory for those kids grades 1 to 3, Andrew.
And as we mentioned earlier, there's still no clear answer from officials there about when kids in hotspots will return to the classrooms. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this is something that a lot of parents have been calling for weeks now. Why are kids not back into the classroom if transmission is deemed to be low? We've been seeing protests from families, particularly in the Toronto area, saying that they want their kids to be back in the classroom. And it's not just parents, it's also the medical community. And in fact, medical officers of health from regions around Ontario sent Stephen Lecce, the Minister of Education, a letter at the end of last week saying that they wanted school reopenings to be prioritized over other sectors of society. And so today, when we asked Minister Lecce this question, when would kids in these hotspot zones like Toronto and Peel be back into the classroom, he said that he hoped to provide clarity soon. The target was February 10th. He certainly didn't stand by and commit to that date today, but we also just heard from Premier Doug Ford last hour, and he said that certainly he would want to have the kids back in the classroom very soon, but he certainly said that it is going to be kind of a tight juggling effort here, and there's a lot of things to consider. Listen to Premier Doug Ford.
Our number one priority is to make sure our children are safe, and I've said right from the beginning, I won't jeopardize our children for a second. If it's not safe, we aren't sending them back. Once we get the okay from the Chief Medical Officer of Ontario to send them back, we're going to send them back, because I know it's a struggle for the kids, it's a struggle for the parents.
And a struggle for everybody, really, while those kids are at home, also psychologically as well. Medical experts have said that having kids just do virtual learning can have serious psychological effects on them. So certainly there is a big push here from a lot of different areas to get kids back into the classroom. Doug Ford also said that he had had a good conversation with Minister Lecce and with Dr. David Williams, the Medical Officer of Health in Ontario, and he expected that an announcement would be coming from the minister in a day or two to give enhanced clarity on when kids will be back into the classroom in these hot zones, Andrew.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Thank you.